A group of elite Greek soldiers silently huddle inside the belly of a giant wooden horse. The night is coming to an end, and soon they'll break out of their disguise and unlock the gates of Troy. Greek forces will flood into the city and make the Trojans pay for the miserable war that they started over 10 years ago. The signal is given. The soldiers slip out of a hidden trap door on the underside of the horse's stomach and stealthily move through the city. Before guards can sound the alarm, they are slain by the infiltration force. The main gates to the city are swung open. Troy is about to be consumed by fire and bloodshed. But how much of what we know about the fall of Troy is actually true? Surprisingly, most archaeologists and historians now believe that the story of the Trojan War might have been grounded in historical fact. There was likely no divine intervention or demigod war heroes, but there's a lot of evidence that the city of Troy and the war fought to destroy it probably happened. Let's take a journey 3,000 years into the past. This is the real story of the Trojan War, pieced together with a little bit of help from Homer, Virgil, and archaeologists. Paris kneels before a statue of Aphrodite. He's holding an apple made of gold. It's an offering to the gods in return for a favor. Paris has fallen madly in love with the wife of another man. She is beautiful enough to wage war over, but with the help of the goddess of love, maybe this affair doesn't have to end in bloodshed. The flame from torches along the walls of the temple casts shadows across marble columns. Paris whispers a final prayer, stands up, and places the golden apple on the lap of Aphrodite's statue. He walks out of the temple and heads toward the palace where Helen resides. She's married to the Spartan king Menelaus. The Spartans are fierce warriors, and Paris is unsure if he can defeat Helen's husband in traditional combat. But love makes you do crazy things. The king knows his wife is sought after by all men who lay eyes on her. It's said that before they were married, Helen was courted by every man in Greece, but now she belongs to Menelaus of Sparta, and he has no plans of sharing her with anyone else, especially not a young Trojan prince. Regardless of the consequences, Paris must confess his love to Helen. The gods watch from their constellations in the heavens as he sneaks into the palace where her chamber is located. Guards line the corridors to ensure the palace is secure. If Paris isn't careful, he'll never look upon Helen ever again, for being discovered would mean certain death. Paris finally reaches Helen's bedchambers after what seems like an eternity dodging Spartan soldiers. He opens the door and steps inside. Paris has no idea how Helen will react. She might scream for help or completely reject him, but it doesn't matter because a life without her is not a life worth living. Helen turns to see who has just entered her chambers. She gasps, then a smile causes her lips to curl up. She's been dreaming of this moment. It seems as if Helen feels the same way for Paris as he does for her. Whether it's divine intervention from the gods or fate, the two young lovers run away together. They make their way to the Trojan ships docked in the Spartan port. Under Paris's order, the ships cast off and head back toward Troy. The next day, Menelaus awakens to find Helen and the Trojans gone. It doesn't take him long to figure out what happened. In a rage, Menelaus tosses furniture across the bedchamber. He storms out of the room and gathers the kings of Greece. They have an agreement that can't be broken. If Sparta goes to war with Troy, the rest of Greece has to follow. The decision has been made. Troy will fall. Before they can depart, the gods must be consulted. Agamemnon, the brother of Menelaus, will lead the Greek forces. He's a strong leader and has the respect of the other Greek kings. The ships are loaded with soldiers and siege equipment to be carried across the Aegean Sea to Troy. But there is a problem. The wind refuses to blow. Agamemnon seeks the wisdom of the oracle. There must be some explanation for why the gods have forsaken him and his navy. The remedy is worse than the problem, however. In order for the winds to blow once again and carry his fleet across the Aegean, a sacrifice must be made. The gods can be cruel, and they don't want just any sacrifice. They want the life of Agamemnon's daughter, Iphigenia. Seeing no other way to appease the gods and get the winds blowing again, Agamemnon agrees to the sacrifice. However, there's no way that his wife will allow him to kill their daughter, even if it is the only way to conquer Troy. So Agamemnon does the only thing he can do. He lies. The king tells his wife that Iphigenia is to marry Achilles at Aulis. This would be a match made in heaven, as Achilles is already known to be one of the greatest Greek warriors that's ever lived. Agamemnon's wife, Clytemnestra, brings Iphigenia to Aulis. They're dressed in their finest robes, as this will be a magnificent celebration. When they reach the hilltop where Agamemnon waits, there is no Achilles. The king stands at an altar, knife in his hand. His men subdue Clytemnestra as she screams for her husband not to hurt their daughter. Iphigenia is brought to her father and forced to lay down on the altar. In the name of the gods, Agamemnon sacrifices his own flesh and blood. The wind begins to blow as Iphigenia's blood spills onto the ground. Clytemnestra's heart breaks.